Laker Nation, good day to Laker fans only. Fuck the haters, man. Especially the media acting as if they, had no chance to beat Portland due to their offense. Everybody's been hyping up their offense, but they learned this game and they're gonna learn the rest of the series. Lakers defense put the clamps on Portland and blew them out by 23 points. 23 points, yes sir. 111 to 88. I didn't hear shit from the media this game. I didn't hear shit from the haters. The same hype they gave Portland, they better put some respect on their name, man. Put some fucking respect on the Lakers' name, especially defensively, because we defend at a high level and at an elite level consistently. Top 3, top 4. Like if we're able to play our game like we're supposed to, man, and their shots start falling, it's a done deal for most teams, especially for Portland, who can't defend at an elite level nor defend consistently. So the Laker haters and naysayers, like I said, they're gonna learn today. Get front row seats, man, because they're going to learn today. Welcome to the Lake Show. If it's your first time to the channel and you value objectivity, rationale, logic, unbiased content that's substantive based off of empirical data from a student of the game's perspective, and you guys loved the Lakers like I do, then you've arrived and came to the right place. Consider subscribing. And for those of you who are already currently subbed, switch that notification bell to get alerts when I drop videos. Lastly, can you guys show some love and give this video a thumbs up? Apparently that's the way how YouTube determines how videos get out based on their algorithm, which has fucked up everything in my opinion, but it is what it is. People need to see this, especially the haters, man, because I'm going to go in depth on this game recap and breakdown. On this game recap, I'm going to go into key elements of how the Lakers beat the Blazers and blueprints they can follow on both ends of the floor by demonstrating visual concepts from this game. So let's dive right in. Laker fam, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. I thought the Lakers came out with a purpose this game to follow through with the defensive strategy and bring the energy that was much needed as opposed to game one from the start. You can't let Portland hang around and keep the game close when they have Dame Lillard, who is one of the best microwave scorers of all time. If you keep the game close, he can go off at any time, so it's important to put them away early to nullify that aspect. Green starts here off of Dame, pressuring him 94 feet, and then McGee hedges and makes Dame pick up his dribble. That's how you have to play Damian Lillard. And contrary to the previous clip, this is how not to defend Damian Lillard. Lakers last game, they showed very late on pick and roll and didn't, shade Dame and force the ball out of his hands enough. Here McGee is too far back on the pick and roll defense and didn't show high enough, which resulted in Damian Lillard hitting that mid-range jump shot. Again, the Lakers have to play Dame 94 feet. And as soon as it gets to half court, man, they have to shade him. 2 players. One player cannot defend them by themselves, clearly. It's going to take a team effort to stop an offensive juggernaut such as Damian Lillard. Here, KCP does a good job trailing Dame off the ball for a screen. McGee shows active hands tracing Lillard to prevent him from shooting or passing, which allows KCP to recover back in front of Dame to contest his shot. This is how you have to play Damian Lillard. Tight knit, can't allow him to get into his comfort because he can score in bunches, man, and can get high at any minute, so you have to close out on him. And force him into tougher shots and play hard on him from the start, man. You can't allow him to get into his comfort zone. KCP not only defended solidly this game, but he made shots and kept Dame honest on the defensive end. That's the key to the Lakers' offense, as well as making Dame and CJ play defense. Here he does a good job splitting the screen for AD to then hit a 3-point shot, as Nurkic didn't help him recover well on the screen, and then that kept Dame stuck on AD, which resulted in an open shot. And here's a great illustration of team defensive trapping of Dame Lillard. Just watch how they show high on pick and roll here and help him recover on rotation defense, and then force Gabriel to make decisions handling the ball, which LBJ anticipated drawing a charge on Gabriel. This is exactly how to defend Damian Lillard and do so as a team. You want someone else making decisions outside of Dame and CJ with the ball, so fantastic job here by the Lakers on this sequence. AD here plays the percentages correctly, collapsing on Dame, leaving Gabriel open for the corner 3 as Dame backdoored Danny Green for the cut. If I'm the Lakers when Gabriel or Hassan Whiteside's on the perimeter and not close to the basket, I'm leaving them wide the fuck open for jumpers and taking my chances as opposed to letting Dame or CJ get easy chippies inside. You don't want their confidence going up. All it takes for a scorer is to see the ball go in, especially, on a layup, and then all of a sudden, it can restore their confidence and then shots start falling. Check out Alex Caruso's defense here. If I'm to leave Dame or CJ with the defender on an island at times during a game, I can trust Caruso at times to make them work hard and take tough shots and miss at times. Caruso has the physicality, height, length, and toughness to defend at times versus them. Did a good job here moving his feet and contesting. As for AD, he has to run the floor hard on long misses when Nurkic and Whiteside are defending him, especially when Whiteside is on him, because Whiteside has been known after he got his big deal from Miami to show a lack of motor or defensive effort. So good as a shot blocker, of course, inside, but outside of the paint, not so much. So good job by AD running the floor here. Back to Caruso's defense. He does a good job here moving his feet on Dame and Markieff Morris, showing early with his hands, and Caruso as well with active hands, who almost caused the turnover on Dame Lillard. You crowd the ball handler to space so that you can get around screens easier. Melo wasn't feeling Caruso's physicality here, but that's okay. We go hard and use the basketball hoop streets. You know what I'm saying? We go hard, man. This is exactly why right here I advocate for LBJ in the post and AD at the 5 more. Look at the spacing from the defensive collapsing and the ball moves side to side here. AD off the dribble versus most 5s. They cannot stay with him. This is a exploitation that the Lakers need to utilize in their offensive sets, with LBJ playmaking out of the post and AD bringing the 5s out of the paint and being able to take them off the dribble. Look at how Kuzma's defensive awareness has improved here. Just watch how he shows early here to double Dame. And then LeBron cheating over off of his man with active hands, anticipates the pass from Damian Lillard to get a steal. Another great example of how to defend Damian Lillard and make him more of a passer. Blazers were 7 for 22 from the field, shot 32% in the first quarter with 19 points in the quarter, and they were also 1 for 8 from 3, man. The Lakers came out with a greater defensive purpose and assertiveness with energy and stuck to their game plan. And that's why they won this game convincingly. If they defend like this, play AD more at the 5, Kuz and or Bron at the 4, especially when the Blazers have a big front court, and at the same time with Yusuf Nurkic and Hassan Whiteside to nullify them on the defensive end, the Blazers have no shot at beating them, especially when the Lakers' shots start to fall, just like they did this game, because they ain't going to miss forever, man. Like I told some fans and haters talking shit about our offense, that's okay, I'll keep that same energy. You guys can do the same. Just watch. But I'm confident in this formula, especially with trapping Dame and CJ, particularly Dame, once he gets to half court. The Blazers cannot defend at an elite level and barely could defend, at a consistent level shit. The Lakers barely last game lost by 7 points playing the shittiest game. They have no answer for AD or LBJ, and then players around them start to hit shots. It's a done deal, just like KC did. They're going home, or KCP did rather. They're going home early. So here's an example. I want to illustrate why Rondo is missed. LBJ full-time at point guard is not going to win the Lakers a championship. He shouldn't be consuming a lot of energy to create offense at 35 or so years old. He plays more, or he should play more in the post, as he can't consistently beat players off the dribble as fodder time is kicking in. And it has been, the last 3 years or so for LBJ, especially when Bron is attempting to take guards off the dribble. He can barely go past him. Hell, he can barely go past anybody. Rondo could alleviate that pressure, allowing James to save, energy for scoring, which he does best. He plays... He needs to play more and play make out of the post primarily. Trent Jr. has done a good job ball pressuring LBJ 94 feet, making him exert so much energy off the dribble. If LBJ is exerting that much energy, then his offense won't be as effective, and then he'll have tired legs, which he'll be nullified to a degree. So, Rondo is definitely missed for that aspect, and the aspect of activating AD with easy lob plays and things of that nature and pick and roll, due to his days with him and gaining that chemistry in NOLA. Check out this exploitation by Kuzma. This is how the Lakers need to play offensively and put Nurkic and or Whiteside, especially Nurkic, in pick and roll often. They're not going to be able to stay with most of our players due to their slow foot speed and inability to come out in the perimeter. This is the LBJ the Lakers need, man. Aggressive, going to the cup. Can't let Melo, Trent Jr., Hazonja get away with defending him. He's too strong for all of them in the inside. This is where he needs to play more. Attacking the cup, that's his game. Next here, this is a great defensive effort on CJ McCollum. Green trails him on the hip off of a handoff ball curl, and then Dwight Howard helps Green, and then Green rotates to Dwight's man, and then Dwight with CJ, and then Green from behind on a CJ turnaround shot makes him miss a tough contested shot from behind. This is how the Lakers have to defend CJ McCollum in the half court, who has less range than Damian Lillard. So great job here by the Lakers defensively. Once again, pick and roll exploitation, man. Watch here, waiters here in the pick and roll with AD and Hassan Whiteside defending with Dame. Again, the Lakers need to attack Whiteside and pick and roll as much as possible, as well as Nurkic, but especially Hassan Whiteside, who doesn't show well on pick and roll and likes to stay in the paint. Good execution here by Dion Waiters and AD on a pick and roll. This is exactly what I was talking about with LBJ in the post. Watch how much attention he commands here. And what I loved about this play is the repost entry. Check out KCP with a smart basketball IQ play, gaining position, improving the angle for LBJ to repost. So good job by KCP, and then LBJ's patience here is what was key. Waits till Nurkic commits, then finds AD on that slip pass. This is how the Lakers and LBJ needs to play in the post more and play make out of the post as opposed to playmaking on the perimeter. Another example here of how LBJ needs to play. Again, he won't consistently beat Trent Jr. off the dribble and will have to exert a lot of energy just to go past him and deal with him on the perimeter. So he might as well go through him as opposed to trying to go past him. Work smarter, not harder. Watch here how AD walks into a three-point shot. When AD is at the 5, I'd have him, if I was Vogel, bring up the ball and run the 5-out offense. Let him go one-on-one at times with Whiteside or Nurkic. Both cannot defend him on the perimeter, so the strategy, can open up a lot more opportunities offensively for the Lakers. Lakers won this game on the defensive end by not allowing Dame or CJ to go off, trapping them and forcing them into tough shots or forcing them to pick up their dribble, passing the ball. Dame with 18 points, CJ McCollum 13 points. The Lakers held the Blazers to 88 points total and held them to 40% from the field in terms of their shooting. Again, defense will always win, and Portland's offense isn't going to always be there. Just like the Laker players' jump shots, they're not going to always miss unless you're Danny Green, of course. How his ass is driving me up the fucking wall with him missing open jump shots, man, for real. but always the Lakers' defense from 3, going over. Blazers went, I think 8 for 29 from 3 on 27% shooting. Good defense in terms of making them take contested three-point shots. Lakers also beat them in the inside on second chance points, crashing the boards with 14 offensive rebounds. And then also Portland only had 5 assists in the first half, 14 total. So that tells you a lot in terms of trapping Dame and CJ and making them into passers and how they're more scoring oriented. Again, I've said it, they don't make their teammates better, but the ball trapping really stalled the ball movement for the Blazers, and others were forced to make shots. And then Dame and CJ, or other than Dame and CJ rather. So great job by the Lakers executing their defensive schematics and game plan. Lakers 52 points in the paint. They beat Portland down low pretty bad. AD at the 5, Bron and Orkuz at the 4, with Blazers' big lineup of Nurkic and Whiteside on the floor at times, or at the same time rather, is going to bring them away from the basket in order to create mismatches for the Lakers to drive versus them. And then, of course, that's going to cause offensive rebounds with their bigs not being in the inside. Let's close the podcast and breakdown of Game 2, Lakers versus the Blazers, with the player stats. AD, 31 points, 11 rebounds, 13 for 21 from the field on 61% shooting, 1 block, 1 steal, another 30 minutes of play, Laker fam. This guy is a beast, man. Very efficient game for AD. AD becomes the first player to put up 30 and 10 in under 30 minutes. The last player to do so was the captain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, in 1987. And then KCP, man, 16 points, 4 for 6 from 3-point land. Played very well. Props to him, as the Laker fans, including myself, have been blasting him and Danny Green for missing wide open shots, man. Shout out to him in Tweet of the Day, which is a new feature on the channel. But shout out to a follower of mine on Twitter and a Laker brethren I like talking Laker hoops with, and Laker D's 82. Yes, indeed, brother. KCP, after getting flamed by Laker Nation, came out and responded, and he deserves cred. And hopefully this is a more consistent thing for KCP going forward. J.R. Smith, 11 points off the bench. It's good to see him get some tick. He should get more tick over Danny Green, along with Caruso, taking some of Danny Green's minutes since, Danny Green's ineffective. Make him earn those minutes. LBJ, 10 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. Laker fan, LBJ didn't even play his best game offensively and was passive, and the Lakers still won convincingly. Just imagine if playoff Brown was activated. The Blazers wouldn't even have a chance in hell. They wouldn't have a shot. So the media, could spare me the bullshit. That's the scary thing here, man. That's the scary thing. LBJ didn't even have a good game offensively. If he decides to go ham and, scores 20-plus points, mid-20s, maybe 30s, the chances of the Blazers this series, they have no chance in hell. They have 0 chance of beating the Lakers if LeBron James decides to activate himself. But last game, Game 1, the Lakers only lost by 7 points playing shitty last game. And the Blazers had, their great the greatest up, obviously up to game two, their greatest offensive stretch in 16 points. The Lakers were down and still almost came back and barely lost by 7 points. So if LBJ decides to take Trent Jr., Carmelo Anthony, and not settle and be passive, man, it's game over for the Blazers. Even if the Lakers' shots are falling minimally, but if playoff Bron activates, it's a done deal because AD's already, getting close to 30 in this series. So LBJ, man, if he gets 25 to 30 and the Lakers' shots are falling minimally and they're playing like they're supposed to, it's a done deal. All right, Laker fam, this concludes the breakdown of Game 2 of the Lakers versus Blazers. In the game recap, comment, like, share, and subscribe on Tony and the Lake Show YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.